If the great scientist Stephen Hawking was afraid of anything, it was the paradox of time travel. Stephen Hawking was concerned that a time traveler from the future might come to our era and destroy our world. He believed that time travel is possible, and that it can occur in all three periods: past, present, and future. However, he was particularly worried that time travel to the past could lead to catastrophic consequences. Imagine someone traveling just 1 minute back in time. You might wonder, what could happen in just 1 minute? To illustrate this, Stephen Hawking provides an example. Picture a crazy scientist experimenting with time travel. He wants to know if tampering with the past will affect the present. This scientist creates a time machine that can take him just 1 minute back. He travels back and sees his past self. In a shocking twist, he kills himself by shooting his past form. Now, what effect does this have on the present? The immediate effect is that he dies just a minute before the time travel. But this raises a crucial question: who killed him? You might say he shot himself after traveling back. But if he died a minute before time travel, how could he have traveled back in the first place? If he cannot time travel, then how could he go back and shoot himself? If he didn't shoot himself, then who was responsible for his death? Friends, our universe operates on certain principles. There are rules that cannot be broken. For any event to occur, there must be a reason. No event can happen without a cause. This is where time travel to the past becomes problematic. Tampering with the past would violate the fundamental rules of the universe, putting our world in danger. Returning to our earlier question, who killed that crazy scientist? The event of his death occurred, but the reason behind it remains undefined. This is known as cause and effect. Going back in time creates an effect, but its cause disappears. This scenario resembles the grandfather paradox. If you were to travel back to your grandfather's childhood and kill him, you would create an effect without a cause. If your grandfather died, then your father would never have been born. If your father was never born, then how could you exist? If you never existed, then who killed your grandfather? Now, you might be wondering, if we cannot change the past, is time travel to the past even possible? This question also intrigued Stephen Hawking. To explore this, he conducted a unique experiment. He invited all time travelers to a party. Hawking organized a gathering, preparing food and setting a time for 12 o'clock. However, he did not send out invitations before the party. As the clock ticked down, he watched the door, waiting for time travelers to arrive. When the clock struck 12, he looked toward the door, but no one came. After the party ended, he printed invitations and circulated them online. The invitation for Stephen Hawking's party is still out there. If time travel is possible, then the great scientist is waiting for you. Are you really considering going to Stephen Hawking's party? Before you decide, let's delve deeper into a paradox even more dangerous than the grandfather paradox. According to the grandfather paradox, time travel to the past is impossible. Even if you could travel back, you wouldn't be able to change anything. If you tried, you would become trapped in a time loop, causing the very events you sought to change. This means you cannot tamper with anything in the timeline. If you attempt to do so, time itself will intervene to prevent it. This concept is further explained by the predestination paradox. Let's consider an example. Imagine your friend is driving fast and gets into an accident, tragically dying. You learn about this and feel devastated. But you have a time machine, so you decide to go back and save him. You arrive at the moment before the accident, ready to warn him. As you signal him to stop, he looks your way, but the car is going too fast. He loses control and crashes into the tree, resulting in his death. Now, you feel even worse because it seems you caused his death. You think, I'll try again. You travel back once more, arriving at the same spot. But to your surprise, you see your first self already there, trying to save your friend. You realize that if your friend sees you, he might get distracted again. In a panic, you run to silence your first self, but your friend notices you. He's confused and distracted, leading to the same tragic outcome. This is the predestination paradox. An event that is already determined cannot be changed. You become the reason for the very event you tried to prevent, trapping you in a time loop. Friends, time travel may sound simple, but it's incredibly complex. However, there is a theory of the multiverse that could potentially resolve these paradoxes. Now, let's return to Stephen Hawking's party. Despite his efforts, no time travelers attended. Why is that? Several theories exist. One possibility is that time travel may never be possible, leading to Hawking's death. Another reason could be that the invitations were destroyed before the time machine was invented. Perhaps humanity will not survive long enough to create a time machine due to disasters or wars. It's also possible that time machines can only travel to the future, not the past. Or maybe time travelers are afraid of the paradoxes, choosing not to attend. Lastly, it's conceivable that time travelers did attend, but in a different timeline, creating a multiverse. Whatever the reason, Stephen Hawking's party serves as evidence that time machines may not yet exist. But don't lose hope. You can still explore your timeline. You can observe the past without creating a paradox. How that works is a topic for another discussion.